Have you ever caught someone talking to themselves while walking alone and wondered why their brain seems to be leaking out loud? Psychology suggests this is a byproduct of high mental activity. When thoughts, memories, or future scenarios move faster than the mind can organize them internally, speaking parts of that dialogue aloud helps release the mental pressure. This spoken dialogue allows the brain to organize complex emotions and focus attention in real time. It turns invisible, messy thoughts into tangible data that the brain can process with much better clarity. We are going to harness this mechanism to build a customized 3-step self-talk stress protocol designed to release pressure and regain focus during moments of high anxiety. To begin, you will need a quiet space, a minor current stressor to use as a test case, and a pen and paper to record your script. Physically preparing these materials signals a transition in your cognitive state. You are moving from being a passive observer of your stress to taking active, structural control of it. Thoughts left trapped inside the head move too fast to be managed. They overlap and collide, creating a sense of being overwhelmed that is difficult to untangle. Externalization uses speech as a release valve. Forcing thoughts through vocal cords requires a level of linear organization that silent thinking lacks. For the first step of the protocol, you must identify your exact stressor and speak it into the room as one clear, objective sentence. Write this down and then say it. I am feeling overwhelmed right now because, and then name the specific problem. By forcing the details into a single sentence, you have stripped away the vague, abstract dread and replaced it with a finite, manageable set of facts. This is the mental shift of externalization, taking the knotted, invisible chaos of a thought and stretching it into a single, straight line of speech. Vocalizing the problem removes its invisible power. It is no longer an internal feeling, it's an external object that you can now manipulate. Defining the problem is a start, but it often triggers an emotional spike. The next step is to manage that physiological reaction. Silent thinking operates in an isolated part of the brain, a loop that feeds its own anxiety. When you vocalize, the brain activates widespread systems for the lungs, throat, and ears, shifting the load across your gray matter. Step 2 uses this shift to deliver an emotional regulation command. You will address yourself by name to provide external guidance to your own nervous system. Add this to your script. Calm down. Your name. You can handle this. This tone must be purely supportive. Using negative or punitive language can backfire, triggering the brain's defense mechanisms rather than de-escalating them. Giving yourself a verbal command physically alters your brain activity. You are effectively acting as your own emotional support system, overriding panic with audible guidance. Feeling calm is the foundation, but without a direction, the brain will eventually loop back to the original stressor. Athletes and professionals use verbal focus instructions because the brain responds to spoken commands more reliably than it does to silent intentions. Because the motor and auditory systems are engaged simultaneously, an out-loud instruction carries significantly more neurological weight than a passing internal thought. For the final step, identify the very next smallest physical action you can take to address the problem. Complete your script with focus, one step at a time. Keep going by doing, and insert that microtask. Spoken instructions demand immediate execution. This verbal command functions as a biological override, directing the brain's processing power away from the source of anxiety and toward the physical requirements of the task. By dictating the move aloud, you force the brain to stop processing the anxiety of the past and start executing the reality of the present. Read your completed 3-step script out loud right now. Combine the problem, the regulation, and the focus instruction into one continuous statement. The vocal cords must vibrate for this shift to occur. If you only read it silently, you are staying within the same internal loop that created the stress in the first place. With the protocol complete, the initial mental chaos has been replaced by a concrete, audible action plan. This same tool can be used to gain social control or emotional closure after an argument by replaying the interaction aloud and rehearsing a more constructive response. You have successfully transformed a common psychological habit into a permanent tool for managing pressure. Subscribe to the channel to continue learning the deeper reasons behind human behavior and how to turn them into practical daily advantages.